So in this video, in this lecture series, we will study about the immunoglobulins. In the previous video, we have discussed about the immunoglobulins, but here we will discuss in some more detail. So for the basics, you can see the previous video, and here we will discuss in some more detail about the immunoglobulins. So as we have seen that immunoglobulins are basically classified based on their mm, difference in heavy chains. That is, if suppose in IgG, if they contain the gamma chains, that is IgG, and if in case of IgA there is presence of alpha heavy chains, in case of IgE there is presence of epsilon heavy chain, and in case of IgT there is presence of delta heavy chain. And as we have seen, IgM is pentameric in nature, and there is presence of the mu heavy chain here. Okay, this one is basically heavy chain and this one is light chain. So this is the just to give you an idea of the how the normal immunoglobulin structure looks like. So let me draw it. So this is the so this is a heavy chain, heavy chain, and this is a light chain, light chain. The heavy chain is classified into gamma, alpha, delta, epsilon, and mu, and accordingly it is classified into different type of immunoglobulins. Like case of gamma, it is called IgG. In case of alpha, it is called IgA. In case of epsilon, it is delta, it is called IgD. In case of epsilon, it is called IgE, and in case of mu, it is called IgM. Similarly, the light chain contains one variable region and one constant region. Okay, so this is called VL and LCL, and this is also contain one variable region and this one constant region. Okay, and here it contains three constant regions and one variable region. Okay, so this is the basic idea about the immunoglobulins. Now here what are the learning objectives? So here we need to understand the general structure of the immunoglobulin and what are the types of immunoglobulins and what are the structural variations which occurs in different immunoglobulins and what are the functions of the different immunoglobulins, as we have already discussed about this, and here we will also revise it again, and what are the clinical significance of the immunoglobulins. So these are the learning objectives of this lecture. Okay, so first of all we will see what is immunology. So immunology is basically the study of the structure and function of the immune systems. And what is immune system? Immune system is basically composed of cells, tissues, molecules, and that mediate resistance to infections. So Latin word immunis means to extempt or to eliminate. Okay, so what is immunity? Immunity means a resistance of a host to pathogen and their toxic effects. So this is the meaning of immunity. Now let us see about the types of immunity. So types of immunity is basically divided into two types. One is adaptive immunity, another is innate immunity. So what is adaptive immunity? So adaptive immunity is divided into natural and artificial immunity. So innate immunity means immunity that is present from birth. So immunity that is present from birth is called the innate immunity. So it is found in the newborn child. So this is called the innate immunity. And adaptive immunity is divided into natural and artificial immunity. Natural immunity comes passively from the maternal and active through the infections. And artificial immunity comes from the passive by the antibody transfer and by the active through the immunization. Okay, so suppose a person is there, and if this person is injected with the antibody, okay, so this type of antibody injection is called, it is a part of adaptive immunity. And which part actually it comes under? It comes under passive immunity. Okay, so these are the major types of immunity. Now let us see about the immune response. Immune response is basically divided into two parts. One is humoral immune response and another one is cellular immune response. So what is humoral immune response? Humoral immune response mainly deal with the humoral means blood. So humoral immune response mainly deal with the blood. So here the antibodies are released in blood stream. Okay, and what is the meaning of cellular immune response? It is mainly related with the cell immunity. It has no relation with the blood. Okay, so this is the main basic difference. And what is the meaning of the immune response? Immune response is the collective and coordinated response to the introduction of foreign substances in an individual, mediated by cells and molecules of the immune system. So how we will understand this process? Suppose a foreign body, and it is called antigen, is encountered inside the body, and it is generally uh, received by a macrophage. So macrophage again direct it to the helper T cell, and this helper T cell by secretion of the cytokines activate the B cell, and this B cell produces the antibodies in case of the humoral immunity, and these antibodies are directly uh, secreted in the bloodstream. And in case of helper T cell activating cytokines to the cytotoxic T cell, this activates the cytotoxic T cell, and this kill the viral infected cell viral infected cells. Okay, so this is the two type of immune response, and these are the cells involved in this type of immune response, and this is the major difference between the humoral and cellular response. Now let us see about the different type of immunoglobulins. So as we know, immunoglobulins are glycoprotein molecules, and they functions as antibodies, and they are produced by the plasma cell, as we have seen in the humoral mediated immunity. So this humoral mediated immunity generally produces B cell, and B cell again divides into two cells, that is plasma cell and memory cell, and this plasma cell secretes antibodies in the bloodstream. Okay, so again we'll see what are these types of different types of antibodies. So these are divided into 5 types, and these are, first one is IgG. IgG basically is monomeric in nature, and it contains a gamma heavy chain. So this is the heavy chain, and this one is light chain. Okay, again Ig antibody. So this is dimeric in nature, although it is activated later, and it basically consists of a J chain, and the heavy chain here present is the gamma chain. So this is the heavy chain and this is light chain. This is heavy chain and this is light chain. IgM antibody is very unique in nature because it is having the pentameric structure, and these pentameric structure are connected with the help of the disulfide bonds, and it contains the mu chain. Okay, it contains mu heavy chain. IgD antibody is also monomeric in nature, and it contains the delta chain, and Ig antibody contains the epsilon heavy chain, and it is secreted generally at the time of hypersensitivity reactions, or allergy. Now we'll wonder how these immunoglobulins are derived. So these immunoglobulins are derived their name from the findings when they migrate in the region of globulins when antibody content serum is placed in the electric field. So we know electric field, there is presence of positive and negative terminals. So this antibody migrates towards the negative terminal. Okay, so this derives its name from this mobility graph. So as we can see in this graph, there is mobility. So gamma is highly mobile in nature. Okay, and these are the globulins, and this is the amount of protein. So high amount of protein is seen in case of albumin. Okay, so this is how the immunoglobulins derived their names. And what are the structural characteristics of the immunoglobulins? So immunoglobulin mainly consist of heavy and light chains. Okay, all immunoglobulins have 4 chain structure as their basic unit. It consists of the 2 heavy chains and 2 light chain. The light chain is basically of 23 kilodaltons and 2 identical heavy chains of 50 to 70 kilodaltons. And this heavy chain contains 3 constant regions. So let me draw an outline. So this heavy chain contains the 3 constant region and 1 variable region, and this light chain contains 1 constant region and 1 variable region. So this is the light chain, and basically this contains 2 heavy chains, that is this one and this one, and 2 light chains, that is this one and this one. So basically it contains 4 chain structure as the basic unit, and these chains are joined together with the help of the disulfide bonds. Okay, here also disulfide bonds are present. Disulfide bonds are present. Here also disulfide bonds are present. Here also disulfide bonds are present. Here also, and here also, and here also. Now disulfide bonds. So there are interchain disulfide bonds. The heavy and light chain and 2 heavy chains are held together interchain disulfide bonds, as we have seen in the previous diagram by non-covalent interactions. The number of interchain disulfide bonds vary among immunoglobulin molecules. We will see like analogs of the IgG. There are IgG 1, 2, 3, 4, and this differs in the different types of the disulfide bonds. So intrachain disulfide bond, within each of the polypeptide chain there are also intrachain disulfide bonds are present, as we can see in the figure. So there are interchain disulfide bonds are present. These are the interchain disulfide bonds. Okay, and this is the hinge region which is present between the 2 constant regions. Disulfide bonds, as we have seen. So both the heavy and light chains can be divided into 2 regions based on variability in the amino acid sequence. These are that is light chain, that is VL, 110 amino acids, and constant, that is 110 amino acid. Heavy chain can be divided into variable and heavy region, that is 110 amino acids, and constant and heavy region, that is 330 amino acids. And we are basically talking about these things. Okay, and here we are talking about these things. Okay, so this is a region at which the arms of the antibody molecule form a, it is called the hinge region. Okay, so this is called the hinge region. Hinge region is between the two constant region of the heavy chain, and this is the heavy chain. So because there is some flexibility, mainly it is for the flexibility in the molecule at this point. Okay, so three-dimensional images of an immunoglobulin molecule show that it is not a straight molecule. Obviously it is not a straight molecule, rather than it's folded into globular structure connected with the help of the disulfide bond, and that is also intra-chain disulfide bonds. So these regions are called domains. So these regions are basically called the domains. Okay, so these are the domains connected by the disulfide bond. In case of the light chain, the domains are, that is VL and CL, that is L for the light chain and V for the variable region and C for the constant region. In case of the heavy chain domains, it contains the VH, CH1, CH2, CH3 and CH4, that is variable heavy domain, constant heavy domain 1, constant heavy domain 2, constant heavy domain 3 and constant heavy domain 4. Okay, so these are the, and between two constant regions of the heavy chain, it contains the hinge region, which is mainly responsible for the flexibility of the immunoglobulins. Now carbohydrates are attached to the CH2 terminal. As we can see in this figure, it is clearly shown that the carbohydrates are attached to the CH2 terminal in most of the immunoglobulins. However, in some cases carbohydrate may also be attached at the other location, and we will see in subsequent figures. So this is the basic structure of the immunoglobulin. So this is the light chain, this one is the light chain, and it contains variable region and constant region, and this variable region is having the two disulfide bonds, one disulfide bond, and this is containing one disulfide bond, and this is called the domains. And similarly this light chain also contains one light variable region and one constant variable region, and here also disulfide bonds are present. Okay, and this contains a heavy chain. This is the heavy chain. As you can see, it is heavy in nature. So this one is heavy. Okay, and let me take one, and this one is light. Okay, so basically this is, suppose, VL and this is VH, sorry, CH. Okay, and this is VL, CH, CH and CH. This is, sorry, VH होगा, VH, CH, CH, CH. Again we can name it 1, 2 and 3. 1, 2 and 3. And again this CH2 contains carbohydrate. Carbohydrate is present here. Okay, so this is the basic structure. So again question arises, one experimentation was done, and this experiment is very important. So different fragments are produced during the proteolytic digestion. So, in case of FAB fragment generation, digestion is done with the help of the papain, and papain breaks the immunoglobulin molecule in the hinge region. Okay, so this one is hinge region. As we have seen, this one is hinge region between the two constant regions. Okay, so here it is broken down with the help of the papain. Okay, the result is the formation of two identical fragments that contains the light chain and heavy chain constant domain of the heavy chain. Okay, so this is the result. So this, in this figure we can see clearly such a beautiful picture is this. So here papain digestion is done, and it divides these immunoglobulins into two parts mainly. So this contains the heavy chain fragment, heavy chain fragment, light chain fragment, light chain fragment, and this portion only contains the heavy chain fragment. And which fragment? That is also Fc portion, and this is called the Fab portion. So here the mainly what is done by papain, papain cuts the immunoglobulin at it divides into two parts, but no part is digested. Both the fragments are present. We will get the both the fragments in the gel if we run in the gel. Okay, so here both the fragments will be present. So Fab, what is Fab? First of all, you will ask the question, what is Fab? So Fab are called the Fab fragment because they contain antigen binding site. So antigen when comes, it will bind here. Okay, it will mainly bind here. So this is the antigen binding site. Okay, each Fab fragment is monovalent, where the original molecule was divalent. Okay, so this is the monovalent in nature. The combining site of the antibody is created by the both VH and VL. Okay, as we have seen. Excuse me. So now we'll see about the immunoglobulin fragments by papain. So this is another type of digestion, okay, done with the papain. So here the Fc fragment digested with papain also produces a fragment that contains the remainder of two heavy chains, each containing CH2 and CH3 domains. So Fc fragment is present. This fragment was called Fc because it was easily crystallizable. Okay, so this is easily crystallizable. The structure function relationships. So antigen binding functions of the immunoglobulin is carried out by the Fab part. Okay, so this is the Fab part. So antigen function binding function is promoted by this Fab portion, and this is Fc portion. Okay, so effector function. The effector functions are mediated by the Fc part of the molecule. Different functions are mediated by different domains in the segment. Now we'll see the immunoglobulin fragment digestion by the pepsin. So pepsin, when it digests, the treatment of immunoglobulin with pepsin result in cleavage of the heavy chain after the heavy chain interchain disulfide bond result in a fragment that contains both antigen binding sites. This fragment is called the Fab2 because it is divalent. So this is divalent in nature. These both are combined together. And the previous case, in case of papain, what we have seen, this is totally this was totally this disulfide bond was totally means destroyed. Here it is not destroyed. Okay, so Fc region of the molecule is digested into small peptides by pepsin. So Fab2 bind antigen, but it does not mediate the effector function because Fc portion was digested completely, so we will not get it in gel. Okay, so this is the difference between the digestion with the pepsin and papain. So this diagram also very beautifully shows the how this phenomenon and how this experiment was conducted. So what are the general functions of the immunoglobulins? So antigen binding. So first function is the antigen binding, and you can you answer what type of what portion is involved in antigen binding? So basically Fab portion is involved in the antigen binding. So antigen binding by antibodies is the primary function of antibodies and can result in protection of the host. Each immunoglobulin bind to a specific antigenic determinants. Okay, so these are the antigen binding site. Suppose this is a antigen. Okay, so this is having the similar shape, so this will bind here and this will be bind here like this. Okay, and this portion is Fab portion and this one is light chain, this is light chain, this is heavy chain. Okay, again here is light chain and this is heavy chain. Okay, and these are the disulfide bonds. Okay, so these are the antigen binding site, and this is the variable region of the heavy chain. Again there are three constant region, one is variable region, and here is also one constant region. So this is the immunoglobulin structure, and this is the antigen binding site. So suppose if this is, we can see in high resolution, we will find the structure of the antibody which combines with the antigen like this. So this is antigenic determinants, and this is antigenic binding sites, and this is heavy chain and this is light chain. Okay, so that's why it is called that each immunoglobulin bind to specific antigenic determinants, because they have specific shapes. Now we'll see about the valency of antibody. The valency of antibody refers to the number of antigenic determinants that an individual antibody molecule can bind. Okay, so valency of antibody is at least 2, and in some instances more. Suppose here the valency of antibody is 2. Okay, so it can bind here, it can bind here, it can be IgG, it can be IgD. Okay, so and here valency is 4, so it can bind to 4 types of antigen. So it is IgA, and it's present in where? It is present in secretory secretions, secretory mucous surfaces. Okay, and here the antigen binds mainly of, here the valency is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 10. Okay, it is pentameric, and it is having the 5 types of antigen can bind here. So it is having the valency 10. Okay, so this is the valency of the antibody. So what are the effector functions performed by the antibodies? So mainly this help in the complement fixation, binding to various type of cells, placental transfer. Can you name any type of antibody involved in placental transfer? Okay, it is called IgG. Why? Because of small size. Okay, and highly abundant in the serum. Okay, and another function, effector function performed by antibodies, opsonization. We'll see the opsonization in detail. So general function of immunoglobulin is, it is very beautiful diagram, you can see, and no need to read that much, you can understand from here only. No need to refer lot of books. So and this is the antigen binding site. So here antigen come and binds. It is mainly made up of one heavy chain, one light chain, and this is called, that's why it is called FAB fragment. AB means antigen. Okay, and this is binding sites of binding to Fc receptor, and this is having the, this is called the complement binding site, and this is mainly for the placental transfer. Okay, so binding to various cell types. So phagocytosis cell, lymphocyte, platelets, mast cell, and basophil cells have receptor that binds to immunoglobulins. This binding can activate the cell to perform some functions. Okay, so suppose a bacterium is there. Bacterium is covered with the IgG antibody, and these are the antibody receptors. Okay, on the surface of the macrophages. So these bacterium is covered with the help of the IgG antibody, and this is combined with the receptor macrophages, and it is taken eventually inside the macrophages by masking it with the help of the antibodies. Okay, so some immunoglobulins also bind on the placental trophoblast, which results in transfer of immunoglobulin across the placenta. As we already know, it is called IgG. As a result, the transfer maternal antibodies provide immunity to the fetus, newborn baby at the time of birth or during the pregnancy. Okay, so this is the antigen binding site, and this is binding to the Fc receptor. This is complement binding site, and this is involved in the placental transfer. What is this? This is IgG antibody. Now different classes of antibodies are there. As we know, antibodies are divided into mainly 5 classes based on the presence of the variable heavy chains. So immunoglobulin is divided into 5 different classes based on the amino acid sequence in constant region of the heavy chain. Okay, so mainly these are IgG contain gamma heavy chain. This is called gamma. The IgM which contain the mu heavy chain. This is called alpha, which contains the alpha heavy chain. This is called delta IgD, which contains the delta heavy chain, and IgE epsilon heavy chain. This is involved in the hypersensitivity reactions with type 1 hypersensitivity reactions. Okay, just some extra knowledge. So IgG subclasses is divided into Ig1, Ig2, Ig3, Ig4, and these vary in this presence of the disulfide bonds. IgA subclasses is IgA1 and IgA2. Okay. So what are immunoglobulin types? We have seen immunoglobulin can be classified by the type of light chain that they have. By the type of light chain they have. Light chain are based on differences in the amino acid sequences in constant region of the light chain. Kappa light chain and lambda light chain. So all the immunoglobulins are monomers, that is 7s all the immunoglobulins are monomers. These subclasses differ in number of disulfide bond and length of the hinge region. So this is about the immunoglobulin IgG. So this is IgG1, IgG2, IgG4. So as I've already told, this differs in the number of the presence of the disulfide bond. You can see here 2 disulfide bond is present. Number of disulfide bond is present in case of Ig3, IgG1, IgG2, IgG4. You can consider this one, and for IgG3, for the understanding purpose, you can consider this one. So immunoglobulin IgG properties. So this is measure IgG in the serum, and the sequence goes like this: G A M D E, GAMDE. Okay, GAMDE. So major Ig is in extravascular spaces, only Ig that crosses the placenta. This is important. This one is important. As we have seen, this is also involved in the component fixation and also in the opsonization by the cells like macrophages. Now what is opsonization? Opsonization, the term opsonin is used to describe substances that enhance the phagocytosis. It can be an antibody, like IgG is a good opsonin. The antibody prepares the antigen for killing by the phagocytotic cell. Macrophages, monocytes and neutrophils and some lymphocytes have Fc receptor for the Fc regions of the IgG. Okay, so here Fc receptor is present, and here Fc region of the IgG will bind, and suppose this is IgG. Okay, a consequence of binding to Fc receptor on such cell is that the cell can now internalize the antigen better. So this is now internalized, and this is slowly digested, okay, in the lysosome. Okay, so what is the function of IgG? It is secreted in high quantities in secondary exposure across the placenta. Major functions are neutralize microbes and toxins, opsonize antigens for phagocytosis, activate complement and protect the newborn. So fourfold rise or fall indicates active infection. A single positive sample indicates past exposure. Okay, so what is IgM? So IgM structure is very fascinating in nature. It is pentameric structure. IgM normally exists at pentameric, so but it can also exist as a monomer. So it is not necessary that it can exist as a pentamer only. So keep in mind, in pentameric form, all the heavy chains are identical and all the light chains are identical. Okay, the valency is theoretically 10, and you know what is the meaning of valency. Valency is the amount quantity. Okay, valency is the how much antigen it can interact. Okay, so 1 2 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 type of antigen it can interact. This region is called FAB, and this region is called FC region. Okay, so this is the structure of IgM, and these are joined together with the help of the J chain. J chain. Okay, and what are these? These are the carbohydrates which are attached to the CH1 domain of the heavy chain. Okay, so IgM has an extra domain on the mu chain CH4. It has another protein covalent bond via SS disulfide bond called the J chain. The chain function is polymerization of molecule in a pentameric manner. This is the main function of the J chain function. Okay, important. Now, what is IgM and what is its significance? So how it is present inside the body? So the third most common serum is IgM. Okay, so we have seen Gamde. Okay, so this one is third. The third most common serum is IgM. The first Ig to be made by the fetus. So this is the first Ig to be made by the fetus. The first Ig to be made by virgin B cells when stimulated by the antigen also. Okay. So IgM properties. So it has a very good complement and complement fixation. Reason for this is that it is having high valency. Okay, that is near about 10. Very efficient in leading to the lysis of microorganism. As we have seen its structure, it is highly capable of recognizing antigen and doing its functions. A good agglutinating IgM, sorry, we have already seen. So cellular binding IgM binds to some cells via Fc receptor. B cell surface Ig. Surface IgM exists as monomer and lacks J chain, but it has an extra 20 amino acid at C terminal to anchor into the membrane. Cell surface IgM functions as a receptor for antigen on B cell. Okay. Now what is IgM? Secreted initially during the primary infection, cannot cross the placenta. Major functions is secretion during primary exposure, activates complement, and under used as a marker for recent infection. So if you have any recent infection, his peak will always rise. Okay, so presence in newborn means infection. Single positive sample serum or CSF indicates recent or active infection, used to detect early phase of the infection. So if you have any early phase of infection, the high amount of the IgM will be seen. So let us see about the IgA. So serum IgA is a monomer. IgA is found in secretions. Most of the mucous secretions inside the body contains the mucosal surfaces contains the IgA. So J chain is associated with the dimeric form. A secretory piece or T piece is also associated with the secretory IgA. So secretory IgA is also referred to as the 11S immunoglobulin. Okay. So this is also called as 11S immunoglobulin. 11S immunoglobulin. Okay. So this is the dimeric structure, and this is called the secretory piece. This is secretory piece, and this is the J chain. Okay, this is the J chain which joins together the two IgA molecules. Secretory piece of IgA. So this starts from here. Suppose unlike the remainder of the IgA which is made in the plasma cell, the secretory piece is made in epithelial cell and is added to the IgA as it passes into the secretions. Secretory piece helps IgA to be transported across the mucosal membrane and also protects it from degradation in the secretion. So here the plasma cell is there, and this is IgA. So poly Ig receptor is present in the epithelial cell, and this is taken inside the vesicle. There is enzymatic cleavage, and there is secretion of the IgA in the inside the epithelial cell, okay, outside the epithelial cell into the lumen. So this is how it is converted into the dimeric structure. So what are the properties of IgA? Second most common in the serum, which is we have seen GAMDE. Okay, IgA is the major class of immunoglobulin in secretion, tear, saliva, colostrum, mucus. Since it is found in secretion, secretory IgA important for local mucosal immunity. Normally, IgA does not fix complementation unless aggregated. IgA can bind to some cells, polymorphic nuclear cells, and some lymphocytes. IgA is monomeric in serum, dimeric with secretory component in the lumen of the gastrointestinal tract and in the respiratory tract. Major function application is neutralizing the microbes and toxins and serodiagnosis of tuberculosis and respiratory syncytial virus tests. Now IgD also exists as a monomer. So IgG is found in low levels in the serum. Its role in the serum is uncertain, not till now very well known. IgD is primarily found on the B cell surface where it functions as a receptor for antigen. IgD does not bind complement. Okay, it does not bind and forms complement. Ig structure exists as monomer and has an extra domain in the constant region, that is it is having an extra domain in the constant region, that is this one, C epsilon 4. Okay, C epsilon 4, this is the extra region. This is important point. So Ig, what is the function of Ig? The question comes in mind, what is the function of Ig? Ig is the least common serum in the Ig. Okay, as we have seen the analogy GAMDE. Okay, it binds very tightly to the Fc receptor on the basophil cells. Okay, so here the Fc receptor is there and this is suppose the basophil cell. Okay, basophil cells and mast cell even before interacting with the antigen, and Ig does not fix complementation. Okay, so here after the combination with the mast cell Fc receptor, it creates it leads to the histamine release of the histamine and other substances and mediate the immune response. So Ig mainly involved in the allergic reactions. As a consequence of its binding to basophil and mast cell, Ig involved in the allergic reactions. Binding of the allergens to the Ig on the cell surface result in the release of various pharmacological mediators that result in allergic symptoms. Ig and parasitic helminth disease. Ig also play a role in the parasitic helminth diseases. How? So since serum Ig levels rise in parasitic diseases, measure Ig levels in helpful in diagnosis of the parasitic infections. Okay, eosinophils have Fc receptor for IgE, and binding of eosinophils to Ig coated helminths result in killing of the parasites. Ig mediates mainly type 1 hypersensitivity. As I have already discussed, this is very important. So keep a note on this. This will be asked in every exam you give. Most of the time they ask this question. So monomeric in nature, and major functions or applications of the Ig is associated with anaphylactic shock. Anaphylaxis play a role in the immunity to helminth and parasite, and serodiagnosis of infections and non-infectious allergies, allergic bronchopulmonary aspiragosis, parasitic and diseases also. So let us see the summary what we have learned till now. Immunoglobulins are glycoproteins. This is the first point. There are 5 immunoglobulins based on variations in the heavy chain region, that is gamma, alpha, beta, epsilon. Likewise IgA, IgG, IgM, IgA, IgE, IgD. IgG is the only antibody for placental transfer of immunity. IgM is not capable to transported across placenta because it's very bulky in nature. And main role of the IgM is to recognize high number of antigens. It is having very high valency. Okay. Potent agglutinating antibody is also IgM. Ig acts as a mucosal barrier mainly present in the mucosal surface. Ig is antibody mainly involved in the allergic reaction, type 1 hypersensitivity. IgD, IgM are present together on the surface of the B lymphocyte. during its maturation. So this beautiful diagram shows the various function of immunoglobulins and its overview. So this is the antibody. So what are the functions? Different functions are indicated here, and we have most of the functions we have discussed, like activation of the complementation, like IgG combines with the Fc receptor on the cell of the macrophages that triggers, and other is the mast cell degranulation with the help of the IgE antibody. Okay, and there is activate in antibody dependent cellular activity with the help of the NK cell, then causes antigen clumping activation of the bacterial toxins. There is phagocytosis with the help of the IgG antibody, and there is activation of the B lymphocyte by B lymphocyte to uh, memory cell and plasma cell. Memory cell are kept for memory for different type of subsequent encounter during the futures of the antigen, and the plasma cell secrete antibody inside the cell. These are called the humoral mediated immunity, and opsonin is performed by the IgG and antigen binding to the antibody. So this is the antigen binding site. Okay, so this is the heavy chain and this is the light chain. Okay, so this till now we have discussed about this. I think this is enough for any competitive exam. So please remember the important points I have discussed, and if you have any further question you can ask in the comment section, and we will discuss in more detail about the different type of topics of immunology and other life science related videos. I have already qualified the DBT JRF, ICMR JRF and GATE also, and I have completed my MTech from IIT. So you can get a lot of support from here, and I need also your support. Please subscribe and like if you like the video, and uh, I will make videos on different topics so that you can easily qualify any exam. Okay, so thank you.